What would you do if one morning you felt a conviction so strong, so undeniable, that it shook the very foundation of your routine? Imagine waking up with a deep inner certainty that the path you've been walking for years is no longer yours to walk. The job title, the paycheck, the predictable schedule, all of it suddenly feels temporary, almost irrelevant. And in its place, a single thought echoes in your mind: quit your job. This is your only job now. For many people, that idea sounds reckless, irresponsible, even dangerous. We are taught from childhood to seek stability, to build careers, to measure success in promotions and salaries. Society applauds security. It rewards predictability. So when someone says they felt called to leave it all behind, the first question is always the same: are you sure? But what if the real question is different? What if the real question is, are you living the assignment meant for you? Throughout history, there have always been individuals who felt set apart. Not superior, not divine, not chosen in a mystical sense, but deeply aware that their life carried a specific responsibility. They felt compelled to serve in ways that didn't fit conventional molds. Sometimes that meant leaving comfortable positions. Sometimes it meant walking away from environments that paid well but drained the soul. Being a chosen one in this context isn't about ego. It isn't about claiming special status. It's about recognizing a weight of responsibility that refuses to let you settle. Have you ever felt that restlessness, that quiet dissatisfaction, even when everything looks good on paper? You have the job. You have the approval. Yet something inside whispers, this isn't it. Many people silence that whisper. Bills need to be paid. Families rely on you. Fear is loud. What if I fail? What if I'm misunderstood? What if this inner pull is just frustration or burnout? Those are valid questions. Discernment matters. Reflection matters. No one should romanticize impulsive decisions. But there is also a difference between impulsiveness and conviction. Conviction grows slowly. It matures over time. It follows you into quiet moments. It returns in prayer, in reflection, in sleepless nights. It does not scream. It persists. Sometimes, quit your job doesn't even mean physically resigning the next day. Sometimes it means quitting the mindset that your identity is tied to your position. Quitting the belief that your worth is measured by your salary. Quitting the habit of ignoring your deeper purpose. So what is this only job that replaces everything else? For some, it is service, uplifting others, mentoring, creating something that inspires growth. For others, it is building a project that aligns with their values. For some, it is simply living with integrity in a way that influences everyone around them. The form differs, but the core is the same: alignment. The chosen ones are not those who hear voices from the sky. They are those who listen carefully to conscience, who reflect deeply on their responsibilities, and who are courageous enough to act when clarity comes. And maybe the real challenge is not whether you are chosen. Maybe the real challenge is whether you are willing to choose the path that has been quietly waiting for you all along. There is a moment in every person's life when comfort and calling collide. It is subtle at first. You begin to notice that what once energized you now exhausts you. Conversations at work feel repetitive. Achievements feel hollow. You accomplish goals that once seemed impossible, yet the satisfaction fades faster each time. Why does success sometimes feel so empty? Because not all success is alignment. Many people spend years climbing a ladder only to discover it was leaning against the wrong wall. They followed expectations. They fulfilled responsibilities. They did what was practical and logical. And there is honor in that. Providing, supporting family, maintaining stability, These are noble pursuits. But what happens when stability becomes a cage? What happens when fear of losing comfort keeps you from stepping into your true responsibility? When someone feels that inner directive to walk away from a job, it often begins with a realization: I am capable of more than this. Not more money, not more status, more impact, more meaning, more integrity. It is not arrogance, it is awareness. Yet awareness alone is not enough. The real battle is internal. Doubt begins to whisper. Who am I to think I have a different assignment? What if I am misreading my emotions? What if this is just dissatisfaction that will pass? This is where reflection becomes essential. True conviction is not born out of boredom. It is not born out of temporary frustration. It is born out of repeated confirmation through thought, through introspection, through sincere seeking of guidance. It grows stronger when you ask yourself difficult questions. If I stay where I am for the next 10 years, who will I become? Will I respect that version of myself? Will I feel fulfilled knowing I ignored what I sensed was my deeper responsibility? There is also sacrifice involved. Walking away from certainty requires courage. People may misunderstand you. Some may accuse you of being unrealistic. Others may project their fears onto you. They may say you are throwing away security. But what is security if it costs you your purpose? At the same time, wisdom demands balance. Being called to something greater does not mean acting recklessly. It means preparing. It means planning. It means strengthening your discipline. If your only job is to build something meaningful, are you developing the skills required? If your responsibility is to uplift others, are you cultivating patience and humility? Purpose without preparation can lead to disappointment. Another important truth is this: quitting externally is easier than quitting internally. You can leave a workplace but still carry the same mindset. You can change environments but remain driven by validation, comparison, or fear. The deeper shift is internal transformation. It is deciding that your life will no longer revolve around applause or approval. So perhaps when you hear, "This is your only job now," it is not a command to abandon responsibility. It is a call to redefine it. Your only job may be growth. Your only job may be service. Your only job may be obedience to conscience and integrity. The question is not whether the path will be easy. It won't be. The question is whether you are willing to endure uncertainty in exchange for authenticity. Because once you taste alignment, going back to a life of quiet compromise becomes almost impossible. There comes a stage in this journey where the fear does not disappear, but your clarity becomes stronger than your fear. That is when transformation truly begins. You realize that the voice telling you to stay small is not wisdom, it is comfort trying to protect itself. And comfort, while soothing, rarely produces growth. Think about it. How many dreams have been buried under the excuse of responsibility? How many ideas have been postponed until the perfect time, only for that time to never arrive? When someone feels deeply that their assignment has shifted, it often comes with an uncomfortable realization: no one else can carry this for me. That is the weight of being chosen, in a practical sense. It is not about being elevated above others. It is about being entrusted with a responsibility that fits your specific abilities, experiences, and perspective. No one else has your exact combination of strengths and struggles. No one else has walked through your precise circumstances. So if you ignore your calling, who replaces you? This is where accountability enters the picture. It is easy to romanticize the idea of quitting a job for a higher purpose. It sounds bold. It sounds inspiring. But behind every meaningful shift is discipline. If your only job now is to build something that serves others, you must treat it with more seriousness than any employer ever required from you. You must wake up with intention. You must manage your time with excellence. You must refine your craft continuously. Purpose is not sustained by emotion alone. Motivation fades. Inspiration fluctuates. What remains is commitment, and commitment is tested most when results are invisible. In a traditional job, you receive feedback quickly. A paycheck confirms your effort. A promotion validates your performance. But when you step into an assignment driven by inner conviction, external rewards may be delayed. There may be long seasons of silence, long seasons where you question whether your effort matters. In those moments, the real work is internal. Are you building resilience? Are you strengthening patience? Are you acting from integrity, even when no one is watching? This unseen development often shapes you more than visible success ever could. Another reality is that your environment may shift. Some relationships may weaken, because not everyone will understand your decision. People who bonded with you through shared complaints about work may feel uncomfortable when you choose a different path. Growth sometimes exposes the limits of certain connections. Yet new alignments also appear. When you commit to your deeper responsibility, you naturally attract people who value growth, service, and authenticity. Conversations become richer. Your focus sharpens. Your sense of direction becomes clearer. Still, one question remains. How do you know this is truly your assignment and not just ambition disguised as purpose? The answer often lies in intention. Is your goal centered on ego, recognition, and superiority, or is it centered on contribution, integrity, and long-term impact? One feeds pride. The other cultivates responsibility. When your intention is pure, your path becomes steady. Not easy, but steady. You begin to understand that quitting your job was never about escape. It was about evolution. It was about stepping into a role that demands more from you, more courage, more discipline, more sincerity. And once you embrace that responsibility, you realize something powerful. This is not a temporary assignment. This is a lifelong commitment to becoming the person you were always capable of becoming. At the deepest level, this journey is not about employment. It is about identity. When everything familiar is stripped away, the title, the routine, the external validation, what remains? Who are you without the label on your office door? Who are you when no one is clapping? This is where many people hesitate. A job, even one that feels misaligned, offers structure. It tells you when to wake up, what tasks to complete, and how your performance will be measured. But when your only job becomes purpose itself, you must create your own structure. You must define your own standards. You must hold yourself accountable without supervision. That level of responsibility can feel overwhelming. There is no manager to blame, no system to hide behind. If progress slows, you must examine your discipline. If opportunities do not appear, you must refine your strategy. Growth becomes personal. And yet, within that personal responsibility lies freedom. You begin to understand that your value was never confined to a role. It was always rooted in your character, your intention, and your willingness to contribute meaningfully. The world often measures worth by output, but a deeper perspective measures worth by alignment. Alignment means your actions reflect your principles. It means the work you do does not contradict your conscience. It means your daily effort supports the kind of person you want to become. When those elements connect, something powerful happens. Peace replaces constant comparison. You stop obsessing over what others are earning or achieving. You stop chasing approval. Instead, You focus on excellence in your assignment. Not perfection, but sincerity. Not speed, but consistency. Of course, doubt may still visit. There may be nights when you question whether the risk was worth it. Moments when financial pressure tests your resolve. Moments when you watch former colleagues advance in traditional ways and wonder if you chose the harder road unnecessarily. In those moments, return to the original question: were you growing where you were? Were you becoming stronger, wiser, more impactful? Or were you slowly shrinking to fit expectations that were never designed for you? Sometimes the instruction to quit your job is less about leaving a building and more about leaving limitation. It is about refusing to live beneath your potential. It is about accepting that your life carries responsibility beyond comfort. But remember, this purpose does not isolate you from practicality. It requires balance. Responsibility to family, community, and society remains important. A higher calling should increase your integrity, not reduce it. It should make you more disciplined, not careless, more thoughtful, not impulsive. Ultimately, being a chosen one is not a mystical title. It is a decision to live deliberately, a decision to honor conscience over convenience, a decision to accept that your skills, experiences, and insights are not accidental and therefore should not be wasted. So if you feel that inner shift, that steady, persistent nudge towards something greater, do not ignore it. Examine it carefully, reflect deeply, strengthen yourself wisely. And if clarity continues to grow, have the courage to step forward. Because the real job was never about a paycheck. The real job has always been becoming the person capable of fulfilling your responsibility with integrity, humility, and unwavering commitment. There is a final layer to this journey that many people do not talk about. It is the moment when you realize that the calling was never only about what you do, but about who you are becoming in the process. The external shift may have started with a job, but the internal shift reshapes your entire perspective on life. When you step into your true assignment, you begin to see time differently. You no longer measure your days by hours worked, but by value created. You begin asking deeper questions. Did I act with integrity today? Did I move closer to the person I am meant to become? Did my actions reflect courage or fear? This level of awareness changes everything. You become more intentional with your energy. Distractions lose their appeal. Drama feels unnecessary. Comparison becomes irrelevant. Why? Because you understand that your path is specific. It cannot be copied, and it cannot be outsourced. There is also a quiet confidence that develops. Not arrogance, not superiority, but steadiness. You no longer need constant reassurance because your direction is rooted in reflection and conviction. You have examined your intentions. You have counted the cost. You are not moving impulsively, you are moving deliberately. Still, the journey will test you. Every meaningful assignment comes with resistance. Some days will feel heavy. Progress may be slow. You may question whether the impact you hope to create is truly happening. In those moments, it is important to remember that growth is often invisible before it becomes undeniable. Seeds do not break through the ground the day they are planted. They develop beneath the surface unseen. Your discipline, your patience, your commitment, these are developing you even when results are not yet visible. The process is shaping your character long before it shapes your circumstances. Another powerful shift happens when you stop asking, "What do I get from this?" and start asking, "What can I give through this?" That question transforms ambition into service. It transforms work into contribution. It transforms pressure into purpose. And perhaps that is the essence of this message. When you feel called to leave what is familiar, it is not an invitation to abandon responsibility. It is an invitation to elevate it, to operate at a higher level of integrity, to align your abilities with meaningful contribution, to live in a way that, at the end of your life, you can say you did not ignore the quiet pull towards something greater. So if you are standing at that crossroads, 1 foot in comfort, 1 foot in conviction, pause, reflect honestly, strengthen your discipline, clarify your intention. Do not rush recklessly, but do not suppress clarity out of fear. Because the true assignment is not about titles or positions. It is about stewardship of your potential. It is about honoring the unique combination of strengths and experiences entrusted to you. And when you embrace that responsibility fully, you realize something profound. The most important job you will ever have is the one that shapes your character, sharpens your integrity, and allows you to serve with sincerity. That job does not end, it evolves with you. And once you accept it, you understand that walking away from comfort was never a loss. It was the beginning of alignment.